Hello everyone, good afternoon. Okay, thank you. So today, thanks for your coming. And firstly, I have 3 points I want to remind you in this workshop. First is please be attention, be focused to what our teacher said. If you fell asleep, you can go to the restroom and you can go back, or you can eat some candies on your table, okay? And the second is please be proactive in this workshop because we only have 4 hours. So please take this chance, okay? And the third one is, it's very important in this classroom, please speak in English. Okay, so please try to communicate in English. Okay, so most importantly, I want to introduce our external partner, David. And he is our teacher today and also a consultant. And other Beyond and Tracy and also our consultant, and they will support the workshop. Okay, so let's start our workshop today. Let's welcome David.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that warm welcome. So let's get started. I trust everybody has had a chance to preview all the materials. Let's see. Okay. So I had a chance to go over. With a few of you that came in. So everybody knows their roles. First hour, second hour, third hour, fourth hour. So we'll have a leader each. I trust everyone's had an opportunity to look over the materials because this is what's called flipped learning. So that means you should have prepared so that we can go faster and we can get more done, right? So you should have read the articles, check off if you have, and put your initials. Did you read? Did you read? And did you, or you're going to after this, if you didn't, watch the videos and read the articles and read the materials. Okay, here we go. Now, we mentioned this is in English. Why? Look at your brain here, okay? Right here, see the activity? This is when you're doing training in a second language. These are the neurons firing in your brain. And you will actually, they've done creativity tests for people who are studying a second language, training in a second language, and their creativity increased. It's a CTTT creativity test. And also, people are more productive because they're able to go from one task to another when they do it in another language. So even if you're going to speak Chinese later, you're going to be speaking English more and more, but even if you're going to speak Chinese later, you're still going to be more creative and more productive by doing it in another language. And also, as you know, English has become the global business language. Obviously, this company, headquartered out of Boston, where I used to live. So you're going to have more and more opportunities. English has become the de facto language. So it's for you, for lifelong learning. Okay, more and more opportunities. Now I want you to keep in mind the before, the during, and after. So your preview materials, and then we're here doing it now, and then after we're going to have a 1-month period where you're going to have more opportunities to go over the materials, to complete your agendas, okay? And then I'm going to come back and we're going to look at those again and you'll have more of a chance to practice. So this is kind of a way of mindset, a way of thinking, to prepare and then doing it, and then the review after, right? The assessment. Okay. Human emotion. This has now become incorporated in everything. It's in your GRPI down here under interpersonal. And this has been included now. Why is that? Why human emotion? Why communications? Why now? We have 2 words. AI. Okay, it's 2 letters. Artificial intelligence, right? Technology is taking over. It's doing mathematics, it's doing complicated equations, science. So now the fastest growing area focuses on communications and human emotions. So everything we do, negotiations, there's a program out of Stanford University, Design Thinking, focuses on human emotions. So whether you're developing a new product, a new service, everything we do, and this is in your interpersonal, right? How are we going to solve problems? Having a high EQ. How are we going to resolve conflict? Empathizing with other people. Okay. And we've included your GRPI. Each leader is going to apply this from the beginning. So when you stand up, you're going to go back to the flipboard, and you want one person talking at a time, right? And we want to go through our GRPI, our goals. Why are we here, right? Why is it? You know, I've said the purpose of communications, the purpose of human emotions. What is your purpose? What is your purpose for the team existing for your meeting? Okay. And what are the roles? How can you maximize the resources, the best people for the best job? Okay. How can you get the most out of the people and the resources on your team? The process. How are decisions going to be made? How are we going to resolve conflict in the group, which is inevitable, right? We have good conflict, and we have bad conflict. How are we going to solve problems? How are we going to communicate? So you guys need to decide this. The leader of the first session, and the leader of the second hour and third hour. Okay, you're going to apply this to each hour, okay? And then the interpersonal. How do we get along? And what's our style? So we did. If you had a chance to do the self-assessment, it actually begins with intrapersonal, right? This is interpersonal. Intrapersonal is having a high EQ, right? Our emotional intelligence, our awareness of ourselves. We want to know, how do we communicate? What is our negotiation style? That's intrapersonal. Interpersonal is among 2 or 3 people or more. And then you have extrapersonal, which is among groups, maybe an outside group, a group from another country. So you want to include all of these aspects. We've included the GRPI and some additional things. Now again, this workshop is comprised of 4 hours. Holding effective meetings, negotiation strategies, change management, leadership communications, okay, which includes cross-cultural communications. Now let's look at meeting preparation. What is the purpose? Why are we having meetings? In the U.S., they have something like 11 million meetings a day, right? Managers say they spend, 50 or 60% of their time in meetings. Okay. Most managers say that 85% of those meetings are not effective. Meetings are the biggest cost for a company. And not just time, but having the same meeting over and over, not making a decision, no outcome, no objective. And we want to be more productive. If we're going to brainstorm in a meeting, we want to know what's the outcome. Are we going to make a decision, or are we just there to get ideas? We need to be clear on that. We want to have an agenda, which includes your roles from the GRPI. Who's going to be at the meeting? Okay, I work with one of the largest banks, the largest bank in Taiwan, and one of the vice presidents there told me, I said, well, what do you do when you get a meeting invitation, or tell me about the process? He says, well, I get a meeting invitation. He's a VP, vice president of the bank. He said, I get a meeting invitation, and I go to my boss and say, do I really need to be at this meeting? He said, no, you don't need to be at this one. So he gets another meeting invitation, goes to his boss, do I really need to be at this meeting? He said, no, you don't need to be in this one. So he said, if I didn't ask, I'd be going to so many meetings where I have no role, and I don't know what the objective is, and I don't know why I'm there. Okay? So we want to have a clear agenda. Know what the topics are, how we're going to communicate, who's playing what roles, and maximizing those roles. Okay? Having the right people for the right job. Interpersonal, again, the team relations. And then why is the meeting necessary? Do we even need a meeting? Maybe we could have a 15-minute stand-up meeting. Okay? Maybe something like that. Or maybe the information could be sent out another way. We're going to practice some opening and closing phrases. So you're going to learn some real phrases in English to open and close a meeting. And then the action items. The before, the during, and the after. Who's going to do what? And we'll look at with different cultures, especially American culture. You may have realized with some of your counterparts in Boston, they tend to summarize things, very explicit. Right? We call that application-based, just tell me how it works. And very detailed, summarize things over and over again. Right? Who's going to do what? You're going to do this, you're going to do that. It's kind of the American way of doing it. We call that low context culture, low context language culture. We're going to talk more about that. We want to define what kind of meeting are we having. Are we there to be creative, which is fine, but we need to define it. Is it information? I just picked a few here. There's many, there's dozens of, right? Hundreds of different types. Is it motivational? Is it decision-making? Are we there to make a decision? Okay. So we want to have some reason to be there, and we want to know what is the cost of not doing something. Okay, we must make a decision. There must be a cost to it. Now let's look at some opening meeting phrases. You say, everyone's arrived, so let's get started. Well, since everyone is here, we should get started. Now that everyone is here, shall we begin? Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming today. Just be, simple, straightforward. Okay? Build some relationship, and we get into some small talk. We do another program on having some small talk before the meeting, building relationships, getting to know people. I really appreciate your attendance to this meeting today. So just thanking people for coming. I appreciate you coming to this meeting. Okay, now let's begin. And there's some closing meeting phrases. Before we close the meeting, I'd like to briefly summarize the main points. With the U.S. And a lot of the West, we do this more often. We summarize more and more. We say who needs to do what are the deliverables, what are the action items. Let me quickly go over today's main points. To sum up, or you can say just to sum up, why don't we summarize what we've agreed on today? And you guys are going to use these in your sessions, okay? So leaders, you want to actually use these phrases when you open and close your meetings today. Now I just want to talk a little bit about skip level meetings. We're not going to do these today, but I just wanted to introduce these to you. A lot of companies have found them very, very effective in this new world of needing more information faster and needing to be more flexible. The information is power. Now, has anybody experienced, have you done this at all? Where you skip one level and the director, maybe say this is the, customer service director, these are the managers, and these are the customer service representatives. So maybe what happens here is the director will skip one level and meet directly with the customer service representatives. Now you cannot just do this, there's a process to do this, right? Because somebody's being skipped, again we need to consider the GRPI, we need to consider the interpersonal the human emotion, how is this person feeling? So the director will need to meet with this manager first, explain what's going on. Why am I doing this? This is not to get a report on you and your management styles. This is to find out about the procedures, find out what's working well, find out what could be improved. It's not to, get some bad information on you or something, right? From your, from the people who report to you. It's to help everyone. So, and the director, if he hasn't been seen for a while, he or she may need to put this off maybe 2 or 3 months and get to know the reps a little better, maybe walk around once in a while, say hello. So you can't just jump in and do this and say, hey, we've never really met with this person that much. So they need to be comfortable first. So the customer service representatives would need to be comfortable with the director. So 2 or 3 months before, he or she would walk around, be seen, say hello. Then he would meet with the skipped manager. And then after that, he would hold the meeting with the customer service representative. But when he does that, he or she does that, they need to encourage feedback. And they need to explain to the customer service reps why they're doing this. Because they can't just jump in there, because people are not going to want to talk. They think, oh, this is maybe negative, or is this to get some bad information? They say, no, I just want to know what's working, what's not. We just want to know about the technology, the procedures, customer service procedures, so we can make it better. So encouraging feedback. Then the last part, go back and meet with the skipped manager. Give them the feedback, include him or her in the process. The director goes back, meets with this person again. Here's what we learned, here's the feedback I got, here's what we're going to do, and include that person. So see, it has to be done very diplomatically. Okay. So I just want to introduce this. It's a great way if you have the opportunity later to try something like this. Companies need to be more agile, right? I'm sure you practice probably agile project management, Six Sigma. So we need to do things more efficiently, and this is one good way to do it. Okay. You need to, some things to be aware of. Scheduling it, when and where are you going to meet the employees, what are you going to say, how are you going to facilitate it, how are you going to encourage feedback. Understanding the role of the skipped manager. Again, very important. Understanding their feelings, understanding their emotions, the interpersonal part. Okay, we're going to watch a little funny video, okay, on meetings. Tell me if anyone has ever experienced, this is going to be about a very bad meeting, okay, very bad meeting. Tell me if you've experienced, I know you've never experienced it here, but maybe before you were here, you experienced some of these things in the video. And then we're going to talk about what are some good meetings and what are some bad meetings. But here's a video on a very bad meeting, okay?
I've always wanted splash instead of small drops over time. Think how it can impact the irrigation system.
Terry?
Well, I have an idea from my previous show that I had last year. Let me take that back a little bit. I have this wonderful idea, but it doesn't really make sense unless I just take it back a second and bring it forward together. It was like 3 weeks ago that I remember he said something that I couldn't understand.
Hold on a second, Terry. Hold on. Here's what we need to do, okay? Laura, you got this? We do a video submission contest on YouTube. It'll be on Facebook, it'll be on Pinterest, it'll be on Twitter.
We're using the technology, we lose the scenery background.
So, you guys want to see an example? Should we be moving on to the next topic? I mean, it's already quarter after.
Ha! Cool that happened. That's funny.
Who knows how to put this on the screen? There it is. You're not gonna, I want you to see all the details. We have cables, this cable work, that's power.
I don't know whether there's a
This one.
The cord's not gonna be long enough.
Is that remote good for the Plenty of time, guys. No rush.
It's not working.
I got big markers.
Call the IT guy. Wait, turn it on. Hello?
Okay, I got it working.
What? Okay, now imagine hundreds of those floating around the bed. You actually want to watch it one more time? Dribbling, there looks something that's like the you're okay with that now? There was C test, sub YT proves.
Well, I abbreviated to my phone for on the screen. Contest. Uploading it to YouTube. Funniest. And you get a prize.
Wait, reveal the other ideas. And time. Okay, where y'all going? We still have 100% of the things to accomplish. One of the biggest hassles in all of life is when you're in a meeting.
Okay. All right, what do you think? It's exaggerating a little bit, right?